So, I just finished watching The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and I'm never gonna look at a flock of birds the same again. If I wasn't afraid of birds before, I'm afraid of birds now. Thank you very much. Although I do have to laugh since the movie is very old, like really old. The green screen car scenes kind of made me giggle. And the fact that it's the easiest way to film, at least in my mind, and it just looks so corny, honestly. Also, is it bad that throughout the entire movie I was thinking of how cool, and I say cool, and I use that loosely because if it's ever gonna happen, it's not gonna be as good as what I'm thinking of. So I take no, royalties to this or whatever. I should, but I'll let it go. That during the entire movie, I thought a reboot would be kind of hilarious in that we modernized the movie, like how Ghostbusters was rebooted, and like, it was whatever. This one would be really funny if it was rebooted because I envisioned during the really quiet parts, or where Melanie runs into the phone booth. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so that wouldn't work with the reboot because phone booths are very few and far between. But say they use this town as like a historical something or other, so they have to have the phone booth, and then they run into the phone booth and it's right there. And then near the end, or at the very end, before they drive away, they get everybody in the car. And it'd be funny if the little girl was actually not younger, she was older, she's like a teenager, and she has a cell phone, and she's like, actually, none of my friends are going to believe this, because apparently, she'll have friends that don't live in the city she lives in, or my pen pal, I don't know, she'll make up something. She's like, oh, my friends don't believe us, I don't take a picture, and she's trying to snap a picture of the birds that are in the lawn. I think it'd be funny. I have this mindset in general, as a side note, of any horror movie redone in the fact that it's almost parodied towards a modernized version of it. Like, people be like, oh, I've seen this movie before, I know how this is going to end, and then it's like a twist, and they're like, oh, no, I guess I'm wrong. I guess I'm actually the one they're after. Kind of like how Cabin in the Woods was. And that I really didn't see that coming. I think that's why I enjoy that movie. But that aside, we're talking about The Birds, and like I said, oh my gosh, it is kind of, I know the point of the movie is to be like, well, there's something wrong with the birds. I wanted to know what was wrong with the birds. I felt like I was kind of gypped. Like, the birds are just, out to get everybody. Like, I knew that it was Melanie's fault when she went and stuff started happening. The diner lady, the mother of the two kids in the diner, pointed out, and she's like, you're the devil, you're the reason this is happening, you came here and all this is happening. Then she gets slapped in the face, which was kind of funny. I love how prim and proper everybody is. I know it's the old movies, and I know that's the point, but it's just really funny. There was just something about her in the beginning, and the main character, and it's just like, this is how it's supposed to be. And they slightly touch upon her backstory in the beginning, how, how she's kind of this, I guess you would say this upper class kind of person who can kind of handle her own, which also made me laugh, the fact that she can get away with her good looks. She talks to the storekeeper, and he's like, oh yeah, this is no problem. We can get you a boat. It's okay. It's like, oh, you don't have to pay for it. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay, honey, you can get away with your good looks, but that's why I think a reboot would be freaking hilarious. Because someone's bound to be the comic relief and be like, you're just gonna let her do that? Oh yeah, no problem. I'll do that to strangers all the time. What now? I don't know. I'm thinking way too much into this parody of it. But also pointing out the fact of the green screen fun times. The birds, when the birds show up in the scene, I try to tear apart the scene a little bit because that's my nature. I try to enjoy it, but I also try to tear it apart in that, how do they do that? Okay, so it's green screened, you filmed it, and it's like, okay, we're gonna you know, have the birds around you, so just kind of do one of these and we're gonna make it work, kind of thing. And then they have birds that they let go, and they, you know, they start doing stuff. So anyway, whatever. But it was actually not a terrible movie. I was actually pleasantly surprised outside of the ending, which, like I said, I kind of wish I found out why these birds are crazy, or are they genetically engineered, which this day and age of that movie, probably not. They're just go cray-cray. Cray-cray. But as far as like the bird lady in the diner commented on, she's like, oh no, that's not what birds do. That's not like birds at all. It's like, how do you know, Missy? Are you in charge of this bird island? Like, come on now. So kind of touching upon that a little bit would be amusing. So anyway, pleasantly surprised. If you have about 2 hours of your life to spare, I recommend watching it if you haven't already. It's actually, Alfred Hitchcock's movies are actually pretty good. So there you go. Just in case, just as a fair warning, if you weren't afraid of birds before, you're going to be afraid of birds now, or you're never going to see a flock of birds the same after this. So on that note, good luck.